Hello! Here at Winter Springs High School, we're celebrating Deaf History Month. It goes from March 13th through April 15th. Now enjoy our Deaf History Month timeline. In the 1800s, a man named Germano Cardano was an Italian physician and mathematician. He was one of the first to argue for deaf people being able to reason and how important it was to teach them. Later, he taught his deaf son.
In the year 1755, Samuel Heinecke established the first oral school for the deaf in Germany.
In 1844,
Tennessee School for the Deaf was opened.
During the 1800s to 1920s, the oral method spread and sign language was not allowed. During 1860, the first deaf black school opened. On April 1864, President Abraham Lincoln signed the opening of Gallaudet University.
In 1880, there was a large conference of deaf educators called the Second International Congress on the Education of Deaf People.
Around the years of the 1880s, the National Association for the Deaf was founded.
On March 30th, 1987, Marlee Matlin won an Oscar Award for her movie, The Children of a Lesser God. By doing this, she became the first deaf performer to win an Oscar Award.
In 1907, Indiana passed a law that allowed doctors to stop deaf people from getting pregnant. They believed that deafness was hereditary, and they didn't want more deaf people being born.
In 1910, two men worked together to create the first silent movie.
During World War II, deaf people were not allowed to be drafted. So, there was more job opportunities for deaf people.
In 1945, the American Athletic Association for the Deaf was established in Akron, Ohio. This is for deaf athletes. In 1960, American Sign Language was accepted by hearing people and linguists as a...
In 1970, a deaf man started a movement, and he used everything to teach deaf students sign language and talking. In 1973, there was the first deaf man to play in the NFL.
1977, the Rainbow Alliance of the Deaf was established. It's for the gay and lesbian deaf community.
During 1985, cochlear implants were clinically approved for deaf people who are 18 and older.
In 1976, the first Deaf Women's Conference was held at Gallaudet University in Washington, D.C. In 1995, Heather Whitestone was the first deaf woman to be crowned Miss America. Using her fame, she teaches and inspires the world about deaf and hard-of-hearing people.
During 1990, the NAD, National Association of the Deaf, protested for disability rights.
In 1997, Matt Hamill, aka The Hammer, won his third NCAA National Championship for wrestling. Later, he continued his successful career in the years 1998 to 1999.
In 1997, the National Association of the Deaf first introduction of National Deaf History Month. In 2009, Marilyn Matlin earned a star for the Wall of Fame. She was the first deaf person to earn the star. In 2010, ICE hosted a conference in Vancouver, Canada. Their conference was apologizing to deaf people because in 1880, the Milan Conference banned sign language education.
In 2011, the TV show Switched at Birth first aired, showing deaf struggles with education and communication. That show correctly informed hearing people.
In 2012 in the Philippines, the Education Department finally accepted French Sign Language as the national sign language for deaf education.
In 2019, the deaf community in Tennessee opened an office in Memphis and served Tennessee and part of Mississippi and Arkansas, making new connections. In 2022, the movie called Coda was about a hearing girl who lived in a deaf family. The movie won the Best Pictures and Oscars. The movie helped educate the world about deaf history.
Last year, during 2023, the Supreme Court case Perez versus Sturgis Public Schools established that all deaf students needed free and appropriate education. On March 21st, 2024, Germany elected their first deaf legislature.